Hello, my name is Aaron Ugaldi, and I am Filipino, so therefore I must be going to nursing. This, I wouldn't call it a stereotype, but it pretty much is a stereotype amongst the Filipino community because many of us goes into some type of like nursing field. Many of my family members are either a part of nursing or they are involved in some way through nursing. My opinion on this matter, do I agree with it or disagree? Personally, I don't like nursing. I enjoyed learning about anatomy when I was in high school, but then that wasn't enough to get me into nursing. Personally, I can see why some people go into nursing. I find it to be interesting, intriguing, and personally, I feel like I would have enjoyed doing nursing as a major if I was actually properly taught for biology. My teacher back in high school was known to be a really bad teacher for biology, and I ended up really hating it. And that's kind of the reason why I didn't do nursing because I just didn't really want to. I didn't want to be reminded of that class because that class really was not good. But I would both agree and disagree with this stigma about Filipinos. I don't know if I should call it stigma, I'm sorry. But I would both agree and disagree. Personally, I would disagree with it because I don't enjoy it. I can see why it's interesting, I can see why people do it, and it's intriguing. But I would also agree with it because many Filipinos, many of their parents or relatives are involved, as I said, involved in some type of nursing, and it opens up many paths to take, and it'll provide many opportunities for them to use whenever they need to find work or they need someone to go to in terms of like help. How do I proceed with pursuing this major? That's why I agree yet also disagree with it. The disagreement part is more of my own opinion about it, but objectively I can see why because many people, many relatives of mine are in nursing. Ever since I was a child, my parents, grandparents, relatives would ask me, "Are you going to nursing when you become an adult, or are you going to become a doctor, or are you going to be involved in like biomedical engineering?" And this has just been a thing that not only I have experienced, but my sister and my older brother has experienced. And not only that, but my cousins and many of my Filipino friends. This is a topic that many parents and grandparents and relatives that are Filipino likes to talk about to the younger kids because I'm assuming that as we grow older, they tend to worry and they're afraid that we don't know where to look to in terms of what do we want to do as a major. And having them suggest nursing as a potential option for a major is understandable. There are many relatives that are involved with it, which provides us many opportunities, many paths to go into as we're moving along into the future. This is something that I don't hate them for. There are times where I definitely got annoyed because of how much they're asking me, but then I understand why they would. They're worried about my future. This perception has affected me, not in a negative way. I would say this affected me more in a positive way, mainly because if it weren't for them, I don't want to say pestering as like a negative thing, but pestering me about do I want to become a nurse, that really made me avoid going into nursing. And because of that, I did research on the different types of engineerings that there are because my dad and majority of the men on my dad's side of the family went into engineering while the women went into nursing. and I was curious why engineering was such a popular thing. So I did research and I found a major that I was really interested in. It's aerospace engineering, and if I'm honest, it's tough. It is hard, and to be honest, I am struggling and I am really thinking about backing out. But then the more I think about it, the more I realize aerospace is a thing that I was interested in as a child. I always looked up to the stars. I'd always watch TV shows like the Science Channel about space and how we used rockets and rocket ships to get into space or basically reach things that should have seemed unattainable to us. And I was really interested in that, especially in the stars and different planets. Because I said I agree and disagree with it, I have to say, how do I accept it or how do I reject it? I'll first start off with the rejection. Personally, I would say that there is no way to reject it. The only way to reject it is to say, no, I am not going into nursing. Another way is just to, I guess, not be involved with nursing. On the agreement part, how I would accept it, personally, I don't know how I should accept this. I mean, I do acknowledge that there are many Filipinos that are in nursing, and a lot of my friends are going to nursing. I don't really know how I should accept this type of thing. I definitely don't reject it. Yeah, at the same time, I don't know how to accept it. This is just something I live with, and this is just something I kind of accepted without a reason. I'm not saying that was like a thing that was forced upon me, but it was indeed just something I just kind of got used to.